Hello, I am now going to show you how to make your paper mache forms with things that you have at home. You will remember that during class we used things like yogurt containers and newspaper and chipboard, which is, cracker boxes, cereal boxes, pop can boxes, all that stuff. You should have all of those supplies at home or things that will work. But you might not have masking tape, and you will recall that that was a big tool that we used for joining all of our stuff. Another thing a lot of people use when they make paper mache are balloons. Balloons are totally awesome, but I don't have any in my house. That is a great form though. You can blow up a balloon and have a nice sphere form as your base if you have balloons in your home. So use those if you have them. But I'm going to show you what to do if you don't have masking tape. So you will recall what we did. If you do have masking tape, you can still use it. And it is one of my favorite ways to make paper mache because I think it is super duper easy and fast. You're not waiting for things to dry like you are how I will show you. But what we did in class was, wadded up a lot of newspaper, used a whole bunch of tape to secure our forms, and, added things to it to construct our hybrid animals and our 3D sculptures, or whichever class you're in. We did a lot of that. So, you don't have tape. What you gonna do? Well, I just showed you how to mix up paper mache paste with flour and water, and that's what you're gonna use. So what you can do now is, there's a whole bunch of stuff. If you don't have newspaper, you can basically use anything. Some people use dryer lint, but I've heard that that can be bad for your respiratory health. So you don't want to breathe that in. So maybe don't use dryer lint, but you can use scraps of fabric. I have this leg of denim that was left over after making some cutoffs. So you might have some scraps of fabric around, old t-shirts, anything that you have that you're just going to throw away. I cut that up into little strips. And what you can do now is just basically make a pulp with your flour water mixture that's pretty thick. So what I would start with is just a container, scoop some of this mixture in the container. It's pretty thick. I'm in my art studio, so all I have is a palette knife. Probably better to use a spoon. It's a better tool to use. Scoop that in there. Add some water if you want. I'm going to try it. I don't want it to be too liquidy, so I'm just going to add this and see what happens. Never actually done this before. It's a total experiment. But I have made paper pulp before, just not with fabric. So, ew, it's all squishy and gross and slimy. And hey, it's totally moldable. So I can shape this whatever I want. Let's say I just want to make a nice sphere. So now I'm going to make this little ball of blue jeans. Cool thing, if you're using jeans or fabric, another color of fabric, you might not have to paint this too much when you're done. It will have this layer of solid flour water mixture when it's done, so it will be glue basically, but you might not need to paint it. So I want to now show you the other materials I have that you could use if you don't have fabric. That's just one option. You can use, oh, it's not on the camera, toilet paper. A lot of us have a lot of toilet paper at our houses right now. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe you're not allowed to use it. but I do like it for making a pulp because it's really malleable. That means I can make any shape with it. I can totally form whatever I want with my hands. For some reason, I have a whole bunch of streamers. This is colored paper, also very malleable, like toilet paper. So I could form this using my paper mache paste and probably not have to paint it too much, or even if I do paint it, I already have a base layer of color. So I'm going to try making some small paper mache jewelry items with colored streamers because I think that could be pretty cool. Paper towels work the same way. Newspaper, if you're going to make a pulp, what we've done before is made strips of paper. And remember that newspaper tears really easily the vertical way and not so easily this direction. But if you're making a pulp, you would tear it this direction and get a bunch of little pieces that you then mix together in your flour and glue mixture and mash it all up, make a nice little malleable mixture out of that. Let's see, I've got some paper napkins that when we ordered takeout the other day came. Not this one, this is a fancy one, but you know, I get a whole bunch of paper napkins from takeout restaurants, and then let's say you have none of those, you probably have lined notebook paper. That will also work. So all of these paper products will work for making a paper mache pulp. Just rip it into little bits, put it in a container with your paper mache glue, maybe water it down a little bit if it's too thick, and mash it all up and form the forms that you want. Now, I've already formed this with paper, or with toilet paper, so it's really sticky, and it's just flour and water and toilet paper, and I think there's some newspaper on the inside too. And then I cut these out of a toilet paper tube, and I'm gonna make a little insect brooch, a roach brooch, right? It's gonna be like a cockroach. It's gonna be so gross, but decorative. I know, I've got these crazy ideas, but you'll notice that I didn't even have to use tape, and these are sticking there because this base form is just so sticky. I could, and I probably will, get a little something, I've got a little piece of denim still in there, to just make sure that it will stick, so just kind of to make it nice and sturdy and smooth it down. So now those wings are just going to stay on that little cockroach body, and I'll probably use wires to make the legs later. I'm super excited about this. Okay, so there's one little form, and you can tell how sticky this stuff is. The problem with this, like I said, is it takes a little bit of time because now you have to wait for it to dry before you can move on to layering the paper mache. So you need to, you know, allow for drying time. So don't start this project the week that it's due. You should be doing a little bit every day on it so that it dries in between. If it doesn't dry in between, this is flour and water, and it will get moldy. So that's gross. We don't want that. We want it to be nice and solid. Okay, so other forms you can use. You're all pretty creative, and we've used a lot of trash in the house. I just grabbed a couple things that I had in the house because I want to make a little hat, a little side hat called a fascinator. So I'm going to be, my next demo, I'm going to be paper macheing something that I made out of this. But let's say you don't have anything that's disposable like that. All you have is this, oh crud, there was water in there. All you have is this like glass container that your mom said, yeah, you can use, but you need to put it back. You need to wash it when you're done. So if you're using something that you just need the form because it's the perfect form, get some saran wrap, put that over it, and then do your paper mache pulp form over it, because that is going to stick to anything. It will stick. So it will stick to plastic. Don't think, oh, it's plastic, it will just come right off. Well, this plastic will come off of the glass, but the paper mixture will be solid. It will be stuck to that. So just keep that in mind. Please don't ruin some of your mom's favorite kitchen items. I know I would be disappointed if my children did that. So please be considerate as we're trying to, make art projects at home and not make huge messes and get on people's angry sides. All right. Next video, I will re-demonstrate paper mache, the layering process for you.